Hello, this is Eric Miskell with EMSNOW on the show floor at Apex 2026. Today I am speaking with Andrew from Cetec ERP. Cetec is obviously a specialized ERP company focusing, I mean, you guys have a really cool product.
Yeah,
Why
thanks.
don't you give a quick overview, because I like the idea that it's specifically for smaller, medium-sized kind of manufacturing companies, right?
Yeah, exactly. Our goal is to provide an accessible ERP solution for smaller to mid-sized companies, folks that are running on Excel, running on QuickBooks, that cannot afford an enterprise-level solution, but still need features that work.
And that's interesting, because that leads me to my question. If you think about those people who are on Excel and doing all those things, from a high level, the idea of an ERP implementation could be, scary, right? So from a high level, kind of, what is that implementation process like? Kind of demystify it a bit.
Yeah, that's a great question, because implementation seems like a big scary thing. Really, it breaks down to data and training, and that's kind of it. So you'll want to make sure that you can get data in the correct formats. We'll give you all the templates. Here's the formats you need. Here's the data you need. And then coach you through how to format that, get it imported. And then after that, it's just training. Do some fire drills, run through, quoting, run through production, run through the financials, make sure everything looks correct. And then you're using ERP.
You're up and going. It's just that quick and easy. And you guys obviously are available. Do you go on site when they initially do that as well, or how does that?
Yeah, we can really, whatever the customer wants. We can go on site for a discovery. That's usually helpful to learn the process, meet everyone, understand exactly what's going on. Usually go on site for the go live week. To help make sure everything goes smoothly once we cut over. And then, we can go on site in between for some training if needed. We've also done implementations fully remote that are successful as well.
So when somebody is vetting an ERP vendor, or possibly even switching, maybe they have one and are doing that, what are some important things to consider?
You'll want to make sure that the ERP will work for your business process, right? Does it have the features that you need?
Is that always very clear, or do people need some help with that?
It depends. I think some people do a good job of asking pointed questions. I would say take advantage of demo opportunities. Take advantage of a free trial if the ERP vendor offers one. Explore it yourself. I know it takes time, but making sure that you're selecting an ERP that can do the things you need is important. And then beyond that, making sure that you're working with an ERP vendor or a third-party consulting group that can support your implementation. So making sure that the ERP vendor will coach you through consulting and data conversion.
What's your process for kind of streamlining and working with customers there?
Cetec will assign a project manager and a consultant, and if needed, a data lead from our engineering team. The project manager.
The data lead comes in to help manipulate or not manipulate, structure the data.
If we're getting data from a customer's existing system that's in a format that's difficult to change, a lot of times we'll bring in a data engineer to script import that data in. Puts less of the burden on the customer, more of the burden on our engineering team, which is a useful solution for a lot of folks.
That's interesting, because I never thought of it in those terms. But but what is we deal with a lot of EMS companies, right? Which is you do as well, obviously. What advice would you offer EMS companies on if they're vetting, if they're using, if they're changing? What advice do you offer to these companies to get the most effective use out of their ERP system?
Yeah, absolutely. There's some easy ones. Tracking your inventory by manufacturing part number, making sure you're selecting a system that can maintain part swaps, right? If I have different AVLs, the ability to track inventory according to those and make changes so that purchasing can stay on top of what they need to buy. Things like that. Making sure if you have traceability requirements for any of your customers that you have a solution that can manage that. Material traceability.
Do you usually maintain a champion then within it who's, because once you get a new tool, sometimes people revert back to old behaviors, right? And maybe they wouldn't use it. So do you tend to have a champion to make sure that this is, let's use it, we spent the money, let's get the best of it?
Yeah, the onboarding change is hard, right?
Yeah.
Innately. So it's definitely best if the company can bring someone up that's going to do this, right? Somebody who's going to own the process. And so having an internal project manager that's really driving the ERP conversion is very critical to success. And usually that's our best gauge of whether or not this is going to work well or if it's going to be painful.
Now, you said at the beginning kind of who it's targeted for, the smaller medium, but what are the elements of Cetec's ERP that you think really differentiates you from the others available in the market?
Yeah, Cetec's very manufacturing focused. So you'll see a lot of ERPs that are broad business structures. Cetec really dives deep on manufacturing, and so you're going to see a lot of shop floor minded, production minded tools that are then integrated in the same system with the rest of the functions you would expect in an ERP, right? Your CRM, your financials, your scheduling, all of those functions working together in one platform.
And it's always, I think what impressed me in having spoken to your company before is that there's always only one version out there.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. Yeah. You'd want your ERP to be supportable or supported. For it to be supported, right, it has to be supportable. We can't be supporting infinite variations and versions and custom installs, or else you're just going to get left behind. You're locked in time with the ERP of 2026. Well, you want to be on board with the ERP of 2026 and the ERP of 2030 and beyond. And so having one platform allows us to support it indefinitely.
Yeah, and it just is when the revision's up, everyone has it, right?
Exactly.
It's that simple.
Yeah, the same.
No, I think that's a great characteristic. So, well, cool. Anything else about Cetec that you think you should be adding here?
No, I mean,
no, I think it's
so.
no. I think I've spoken to your company several times, and it impresses me. I think, and you have some good collaborations within the industry that I think serves you very well as well. So, well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Eric.
I appreciate your time.
Yeah, you as well.
Continued success.
Thank you.
Thank you.